Maybe whoever these songs. 50. The secret to the other is just be quiet enough. This is only doesn't take you off the advances. Oh, yeah. For all the volunteers.
Yeah.
Somebody must have thought.
Well, it was, yeah, it was actually not that thing, but I did.
Okay, welcome everybody. We'll call a meeting to order at 6 o'clock. We do have one addition to the original agenda. It is on the paper copy. 9.12, the arena fire alarm panel needs to be replaced. So we'll bring that up at 9.12.
Do you want to do a couple for the two delegations that are going to be asking for actions? For those,
Yeah, we can add them in.
I also wouldn't mind, I don't intend to be here all night, but a GFL discussion would be nice just to have something on there, the administration's consideration. So I guess 3 more business items and whatever those numbers are.
Well,
You guys have to do tonight, right?
Okay, so can we get a motion to adopt the amended agenda? Dr. Carroll, on favor? Carried. Delegations, we've got the Hanna Indoor Pro Rodeo Group. Gentlemen,
Yeah,
I'll get you to duck up this up there. Sorry, Trev, I know how much you like speaking to public, so. Well, and Dean's with you, that's ought to be good.
yeah, guys, we came here, on behalf of the Hanna Indoor Rodeo Association. As you guys know, it's, pretty tough putting on our event in a small community and whatnot, and, every year, over year, we seem to struggle with our budget. The 2 biggest items on our budget are our rental and our stock charges, and, unfortunately, we've leaned on our stock contractors for many years, and there just doesn't seem to be any more give from them guys anymore. That's, kind of all we can do. And so we're hoping to come to the town here and discuss our rental and whether or not we can reduce it. We feel that we bring 1,000+ people to the town for a weekend, do great for the local businesses and whatnot. It's kind of and keep the community spirit going with our event. We are not for profit. It's not like we put any of the profits or anything that is available in our pockets. Everything that we do make be turned around and given back to local community groups, whether it be minor hockey, the football team, the car club. You know what I mean? There's when it's all said and done, we don't usually have but a nickel left over. We try to make sure that it goes back to everybody. So we just wanted to bring it to you guys and see if there was something that we could do to reduce our rental.
Any questions? Councilor Moore?
I do have a question, and so as far as your rental, you're also looking at expenses for equipment and staff, right? If there was an opportunity for, like not affecting staff or anything, but an opportunity to have a bit of a break on rental of equipment. Is that a possibility, or you're looking at any option?
We're looking at any and all options.
We feel that we bring a lot to the town, and a lot of the businesses look at the rodeo weekend as almost like their Christmas, because
Mhm.
they do so much business, and I've been talking to even a couple of waitresses, and they say they make sure that they're on them weekend, because that's their moneymakers, that's when they make it, we said, the Cowboys like to eat, and they definitely like to drink,
Yeah, and tip.
and tip.
The more
So
they drink, the more they tip.
Yeah,
Maybe to the
and, yeah, and they say when they're in town, they're not only eating and drinking, they're buying fuel. And everybody knows who's ever pulled a horse trailer, you always have tire issues, so it definitely lean on a lot of the tire companies in town too.
Do you have an idea of about how much?
No, I got some smart aleck remarks from some of the other board where they said, all of it, but, we had realized that's not, even in the cards. We're hoping to see a reduction in that $5,000 area. That seems to be on our tougher years, like the 3 years ago, we ran about a $10,000 deficit, but on average, we seem to run about a $2,000 to $3,000 deficit. So we're just hoping to try to stay viable.
Yeah. Come closer to breaking even as we can to stay
Mhm.
in the game, because it's getting to the point that we're gonna lose this, and it's a bad thing for the town if we do lose it, because it is a very big boost for the town, the community, and so forth. So,
Councilor Murphy.
Huge fan. That's my Christmas. Second week in September, I just absolutely love your events. And I absolutely support what you're doing. Your prices for your tickets is fair, and reflecting it all back on the people who come will make families not bring their kids. And we don't want to see that. So I certainly support you, and I will be a loud person in your favor when it come time to make a decision. So thank you for your service. For that.
What would the cost be to the town, if we did, gift, the Hanna Indoor Rodeo Association, the facility for the weekend? Do we have those numbers? Would we know what that cost would be?
It's just, last year, I believe we were about $12,000, between our rental equipment costs and, labor for the rental, bringing the dirt in, cleaning it up. It's,
And it is worth noting that's already 25% off already, just, I mean, most places that we've given discounts to is at 25 to 30% when people ask for facility rentals. So, I mean, you guys are at a larger scale than some of those, for sure.
Mhm.
Well, and just being on the reverse side too, our expenses aren't getting any cheaper either.
no,
And that is basically the only way that we are able to get some sort of money to help pay the bills for power and that sort of thing. I know that LED lights have been put in to help cut down on some expenses and that sort of thing, but yeah, that's all I had.
Anyone else?
So we've been giving you like $3,000, up to $4,000, or close to $4,000 in the past.
Is that what this means? Is that?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
That's the percentage.
that's at 25%.
Okay.
And so would that be sufficient? Do you think that would be satisfactory, or?
that's what we're saying, is that the 25% off, that we've been receiving just isn't quite enough for us. Well, we can't say that, year over year, if the weather participates and it rains and we get enough people in the community, we'll break even. With us being in the time of harvest and everything else, we run the risk of, if the boys can be in the combine and everybody's staying busy, well, then we'll run a large deficit, and that's.
Forecast is in your favor this weekend, by the way.
Yeah.
well, we're hoping for that. And with our new event on Thursday, it's got, add one more day to us, and talking about your ticket prices, Thursday night is cheap, it's $10, brush tickets, and it definitely creating some extra revenue to try and keep us afloat too.
And we believe that we've kind of added a little bit more of a local flavor, the contestants and whatnot that will be up on Thursday night are of the local community.
Yeah,
Well, and that's nice to see that you're trying different things as well to bring other events in to get more interest and to keep things going and try to revitalize certain areas and such and not just staying with the same old, same old. So that is, kind of optimistic as well.
yeah, like the Hanna rodeo for many, many years was 3 days, and now we're down to 2 days, and then that third day, a lot of times, yeah, it costs you a little bit more money, but that was usually the money that made you break even or actually put you in the red, so,
Yeah.
but,
Unfortunately, the CFR dates changing,
Yeah, I was gonna say, with this-
our entry were reduced and we could not put a viable third performance on.
no, exactly, and that's just, we kind of do the short end of the stick with the CPRA, and they moved everything back there, Edmonton, and, moved the CFR up to the 1st of October. There's a good chance that might change in the next couple of years, but we'll have to wait and see.
So if we agree to an amount, when would you need it? As
Well,
soon as possible, I imagine,
ultimately, when we go to pay our invoice at the end of the,
be deducted on.
it could be deducted then. And so, as it sits right now, our sponsorship and whatever else we're in good enough shape. The event will go on and we will survive another year. You know what I mean? It's just that we're trying to look
Look to the future,
to the future and realize that,
still be here next year.
it is hard finding volunteers and whatnot too, when they see the year-end, financial report and we lose money year over year and people start to wonder if it's worth all the effort and work as well, right?
So what is the ask? What is the number? Is it 5,000? Are you saying that's the ask?
5,000. Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, guys. We'll review it a little later on in the event, and we'll let you know probably tomorrow. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, good luck this year.
Next on the agenda, we've got the Hanna Roundhouse Society.
Good evening, everyone. As you probably know, we are having a grand opening, which is really exciting for us because this has been 12, 14 years of working towards this. We've had lots of support locally from the town, from special areas, from the Alberta government and from the federal government to make it possible. And now we have bathrooms, well, we will have, and which is a huge step to being able to use the facility, to rent it out, to bring people to town. It's exciting for us. And we just like to showcase what we have. A lot of people have not been in the Roundhouse. It's beautiful in its ugly old way, but it's very historic. And so we decided to put on this event to just show people what we have. And right now we are almost sold out. So that's really good for us. And we have, so we have people coming from Calgary, from Edmonton, from Brooks, Trochu, yeah, like from all of them. So it's really good. And I don't even know how some of them heard about it, but we've sold tickets. So it's great. So what we have come to ask for is donation of chairs. We have tables. We don't have anything for our guests to sit on. And it would be an ask from the town to donate the use of the chairs that you normally rent out. Just to help us out a bit, we don't have a lot of cash, And everything that we have generated over the last many years has gone right back into the facility to bring it up to where it is now. And, I think by showcasing, just the area, what we can do, what the guests can do there will really help bring people in. And, it will be something that can bring people to town. We have a wedding booked already in 2027, I think. So there will be use. It'll be great, but, the town has been very supportive of us in a lot of ways, inside and outside the facility. And, this is just one more way we can help us out.
Any questions?
What kind of a number are we looking at? Like
$200.
$200?
200 chairs.
Oh, 200 chairs.
$400.
Yeah.
We certainly have them rented for the use, but we're just asking for that to be a donation to us.
And where do those chairs come from? Community center?
Well,
Or
it's,
they have their own, like another?
Yeah, we have another batch of chairs.
Rental chairs.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you, ladies.
Okay, well, and we have not heard from all of our dignitaries that we have invited.
I'll be there. It
Okay.
was actually funny. I moved the envelope on my desk today for about the 4th time. So.
Two?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. That's what we need to know. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, please. Thank you, guys.
Hope some of you are coming to our event.
I will be there. Got tickets through Covapia. It will be fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I know we have one public presentation. Gentlemen. You've got 5 minutes, sell your heart away.
Alrighty, thanks for your time. Well, it's a few minutes. I gotta read mine. We're here, Grace and Steve, the town of Hanna, to honor the memory of Grace Washnick, with what we're thinking is a banner, as he was truly a pillar to this community. A banner would serve as a visible reminder of his decades of service and commitment. It's not just about honoring one man, but about inspiring future generations and recognizing what community leadership and dedication really looks like. Bryce's life was deeply rooted in minor sports. He was in minor ball, but hockey also, where he won a championship for the town. He later spent several 12+ years coaching. He encouraged every player by name, supporting goalie schools in Hanna, Delia, and Bymore. He was instrumental in helping girls teams, leading the U15 provincial team. They were out of Olds at that time. He had dedicated himself from there also. He earned himself some recognition and coaching awards. But his impact didn't end at the rink. He supported rock and roll cruise nights, show and shine events, drag races. He helped do setup and even drove his tractors in the parade. He was a guy that was always there, helping, volunteering, and making events possible. Bryce's influence has spanned 3 generations. Many players he coached now have children in the same program that he helped build. His selflessness, leadership, and mentorship made him more than a coach or a volunteer. He's a role model. So tonight, we respectfully ask if the town would honor Bryce. What we're thinking is a memorial banner placed in the arena where his presence was most felt. But we're open to other suggestions or options also. We do know that there is one ball diamond out there that doesn't have a name on it, but we've been discussing throwing it around lots, and I think we'd like to have a banner. There's always options. Unless we don't know something, we'd like to hear it also.
Counselor Olson.
I mean, it's what I'd strongly prefer is for, guys that would mean more to you guys to at least help design or at least come with an idea. I mean, for real estate in the arenas, easy to provide.
Yeah.
A few dollars is pretty easy to provide. It'd be awful if we were to just design something for you guys. It wouldn't do them justice, I'm certain. But easy to support that. I do like the idea of indoors in the arena. So many things at the ball diamonds would just get worn out, and there's more vision at the arena for sure.
Yeah, we were just trying to get this off the ground. We would like to design it ourselves and we would raise the money. It wouldn't be a whole pile of money with it. We find the guys to throw the money with it. So,
Councilor Bowden?
I understand he was quite an artist as well.
yeah.
So that would be kind of nice to see something incorporated in there.
Yeah.
It's not my business or anything, but yeah, just the acknowledgement of the talent, other talents as well. Whatever we could have had and such.
Yeah, you know what, 3 things that stuck out with Bryce for me was he let the kids use his goalie equipment. He donated workout shirts for the midget teams, and they seem to even feed a kid on the bus when he met them. So he's a huge role model.
I want to thank you, Mike, and your team for coming forward and preparing this. I think that is wonderful. I have to agree that Bryce's influence is far and wide. I think of my daughter in hockey too. He was a huge influence there too. And I see no reason why we would not support something like that. I think what we would like Counselor Olson said here, if you guys could bring what you want, and what that would look like, because it would have your kind of flavor on it, and it would, display Bryce really well. I think it'd be wonderful if you could bring that. And I think, in my opinion, and for me, I'm fully in support of it. I think it's a wonderful tribute to Bryce, and thank you for doing that.
I am too.
Yeah, I'd like to thank you too, Mike. Rest of guys. Great. Great.
Be nice to have a goalie school or something for fun.
Yeah.
I like the ball diamond thing, if that was possible. I don't know all the ball diamonds, but also I know he's a huge influence in the arena. So I don't see any reason why we couldn't expand either way. So
Mr. Olson, more people would see it in the arena. The ball diamonds is just ball diamond 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
And I mean, they do get their names, right? So,
Well, they see them for other events in the arena too.
Yeah.
It's not just hockey, there's sports events too. So, yeah, exactly, yeah.
that's true.
No, that is wonderful.
Any other questions of Mike and his crew?
Just one,
Councilor Murphy?
I do want to offer my services if I can help with the banner.
sure.
So I'm a graphic designer
Yeah.
and I did a lot of the banners that are in, so I could certainly get the shape set up so that they match, because you really don't want it to stick out as being in a different shape.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
more than happy to assist in
Yeah.
any way for nothing.
We would rather deal local too, so for sure.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. We'll discuss it later, Mike.
Yep.
You guys, you're welcome to hang around if you'd like.
Okay, not fast enough.
Yeah, they're good. Thanks for taking it. Any other public presentations? Okay, seeing none. Adoption of the minutes from the last meeting. Regular minutes, It's a regular meeting of June 10th, 2025 to be adopted as presented. Council Warwick, all in favor? Carried. Minutes of the information session held on August 27th, 2025 to be adopted as presented. Council Murphy, all in favor? And carried as well. Financial reports. Accounts payable, questions? Seeing none, can we get a motion to accept them as presented? Councilor Farrell. All in favor? Carried. Statement of revenue. Questions? Hearing none. Council accept the statement of revenue and expense for August 25 for information. Motion. Council Kroll, all in favor? Carried. Budget overview. Council Olson.
I always like to keep an eye on that fire department in there. I'm just curious, there was $67,000 in capital that wasn't budgeted. Was that just stuff brought from last year, or in the next page I saw there were some BAs that were on there? Is that?
Oh, spending
55?
some of the reserve money that hadn't got spent in previous budget,
Okay,
spending that special areas of surging us as well as Winona to clean up some of our reserve stuff. And
so no.
the timing was better on
Yeah.
it, so.
Yep.
Stuff we ran out of time in 24 to buy.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, council accept the budget overview for August 2025 for information. Council Warwick, all in favor? Carried. Capital budget update. Questions?
Or he's not here, it's for us. Got that snow blower already.
Hearing none, council accepts the second quarter capital budget update dated to June 2025 for information. Council Thurl, all in favor? And carried.
Don't change that, I'm not supposed to slide that.
Well, committee reports. Municipal planning.
I could do that.
Everybody's happy with it? Council accept the following committee reports for information. Municipal Planning Commission minutes, July 30th, Council Bowden, all in favor? Carried. Senior Administrator official reports. Mr. Matthew.
Yeah, I think we resolved the dog issue, that's our main thing, all tasks that need to be done have been completed, so that's a good thing. Yeah, we've just been we've been reviewing our benefits program to try to get competitive bids from the two major ones, so we're just waiting on the second one to get us an updated quote.
Have they gone up in price?
No, it's just that AB Munis, who we're not with, is offering, at first was a better package, so we went back to our current providers and see if they could match that, and we're just waiting for them to get back to us. I think they should be able to match it from what he said, so but they both offer a different kind of insurance, so you have to review which one we prefer. There's that. Yeah, the interesting meeting with Thomas and the business that's gonna potentially move here. They have some questions for ATCO. So they need to talk to ATCO and see if they can get the power that they would need to be here. But they seemed more than interested in coming here, so we'll see how that plays out.
Then we have a food.
Would that be within the town limits?
Within the town limits, it'd be next to what's that?
The substation.
Yeah, next to that where all the power is, because they would use a lot of power, I guess, so so the benefit of that would obviously be the franchise fees if they can, right, and they generate lots if they can.
So we have an idea of what type of business this is, just lots of power.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And so we finally got some drawings on that if we took the school land and if we were to develop it and they give us a rough estimate of what it will cost to develop those school lands. It would be roughly 1.5 million to service those lots if we were to choose to develop it. So, I know Mark's taking to his board and they're gonna look at moving that process forward for us to be able to, purchase that land.
So that's a. You're gonna purchase that land?
The primary school lot.
Yeah. So we said it'd be like, probably like a 6 to 9 month process to go through each level to get approval to sell us that land. So, but he wants to get the ball rolling, he wants us to come up with probably on the next council meeting to come up with an offer to purchase that land.
Councilor Warwick.
So I have a question in regards to the purchase of this land. We already own land. Why are we purchasing more? Like, we have land that is readily available. It was my understanding in the time when it was ACO, was it? That, you know, set up that piece of land on the west side of town so it could be, you know, created for a development for housing. So why are we purchasing more property when we already have land before us? That's, you know, I look at this piece of property out there and I mean, there's a big berm on it now that you can't see in or can't see out. If that was cleared out and it was a decent developed piece of property, I mean, to me, it would be like living in the country. You get the best of both worlds. You're close to schools, you're close to, you know, the amenities in this town, and yet the view is beautiful. So I guess I'm just curious why we're looking at buying this property, this prairie land property, when we already have property that is in the, you know, has some amount of development done. It has, you know, I believe it has power, some power there and water into the some sort of.
There's a few reasons that land was one, we maintained that land already, so it would just become ours. Instead of maintaining it for the school, it'd be our land.
But for a cost.
They want like a dollar. It wouldn't be like we're paying a lot for that land. Then it's within town and like it's costing 1.5 million to develop this. Can you imagine what the actual land would cost to develop? It'd be considerably more.
I really don't agree with investing anything in the school division. They can afford to go and buy schools or build schools in Calgary. They got all the money in the world, it seems like.
We're not actually investing any money in that property. It would be, if we buy the property, it'd be an investment from the town for our own benefit.
It's a dollar we're looking at paying,
Yeah.
so.
And I think that's where we need to be clear, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we're saying we're gonna be investing in it. What does that mean to me? It means that there's gonna be money, a dollar is a different investment strategy than, you know,
Well,
others that I could
The
consider,
initial
right?
dollar purchase is that, but then the investment in the
Yes.
future development
Okay.
of it would be the stumbling block.
If
David?
I could, sir, Mr. Mayor. When we looked at the different properties around, be it up by Argue Drive, connecting to the North Subdivision, the Atco Camp, the school property. The school by far was looking like it was gonna be the lowest cost to serve, get us lots in a timely fashion. To do the Atco, I agree with you, Counselor, that'd be a great place to live. But it's not necessarily to the grade you need. There's a lot to go in there. And you could do it in phases, but the quick and dirty was the infill. It's always the infill, right? Anytime we have an old house tore down, I look at the school property as a bit of an infill. It's sitting there, it's a block of openness, ready to go, already has most of the infrastructure around it. I would hate to see what our costs would be on the ADCO one to even do the first phase, like.
Councilor Bowden?
I actually agree with, Councillor Warwick. We've already got some sort of plan, like architect plan that the Harvest Sky had, money, in order to get that sort of, idea together and have that. Who says you gotta do it all at once? Put it in phases, do the one at one particular time and grow on that as it's going on. You're still gonna have to do development plans and the study and architect plans and everything with that primary school property.
There was never
There's
any
no
architecture.
design or anything on putting lots in or just going
We
ahead?
had MPC look at going with existing lot sizes for width. full depth no alley is one of the proposals, or alley. And putting in the soft utilities, we have, on the one side, we already have water and sewer available. On the other side would require water and sewer. The north side requires water and sewer, if I remember correct. So it's to grade, it's ready to go. You're just building another block. So there was
And
no
tying
real
into
design.
existing service.
On the one side existing, you'd have to put water and sewer in on the
Yeah,
other side.
sure, yeah.
Either way, you're looking at dollars, even at this 1.5 million, that puts lots close to 100,000.
Yeah, you're,
And we've seen how well that worked in Field in Place. So again, we're behind the, and that's the
Mhm.
low cost one. If we go to the ATCO area next, which that's your guys' prerogative. If it's more money to do the first phase, well, what are the lot costs gonna be?
Mhm.
And I'm a believer we should have some lots available. It looked like Field in Place was sold out. I'm not sure currently if we're still sitting at sold out. Now we are again.
Well, nothing's been done.
But there's been no physical, like actual architecture work done on either the ATCO land or Argue Drive land.
There's some plans as Harvest Sky does, but even they admit that those would require now more work.
More detail.
When you're going out to a new area like that, you gotta take into consideration our stormwater, whether we have to catch it. Whether you have to have ponds, all that, and we're infilling an existing block inside the town. We
It's already-
can follow what already's been followed. The storm drains are already there. Everything's already there. So we don't have as many hoops to jump through.
And it'd be quicker to get something.
Much quicker to subdivide that and get the soft utilities put in, like your phone and cable and power, and be ready to go.
And that's not on the ATCO property, even though they actually had people living there, they didn't have.
The main service is there,
Okay.
the main water's there and the main sewer's there, but it's not ran around.
Oh.
And they literally had the sewer from the trailers up above ground.
Gotcha.
They built the camp into that. The lift station's there, which is a huge cost to have that lift station. It is great that that lift station is there. That's where you will go eventually with something. It's just whether you want to go there first and I guess leave that empty block and use it for something else. Again, there's pros and cons to both, and I think this was our first phase, was find out what the costs were. A person could go to the ATCO one and do some, whether it's Harvest Skies designs or whatever. I like their design, had a lot of good things. It had R1, R2, and R3 in it. Actually, it had an apartment building in it, so you're thinking of not just high-end acreage houses, but affordable housing. There's a lot of things in there. And you could try to, the only problem I seen with it was hard to phase, because who got what first?
Yeah.
Do the R1s get it first, do the R2s? It was hard to phase in that one, so it's not gonna be as quick to pull the trigger on that one.
How many places will end up in that little?
What was
block?
is it 14? I think 14 or 15 lots. They want to keep a chunk. They want to keep where the playground is and the one lot by the corner to make it so that there's not one house at the end.
Okay,
And then they wanted two for their teachers.
love it. Love it. 14, wow.
So, excuse me, sorry, Mr. Mayor. So we wouldn't have title to the whole property then. So this is gonna be a shared eventually
It
then?
would all be ours, but the school would want two lots when we service them.
That would remain Prairie lands for them to build teachers on.
They will build them.
Yes, they will build it. Yes.
And then are they tax free?
I would defer to the CFO.
I'm not sure.
If it's under PLRD? Owned by the school board? Off the top of my head, I don't know. I would imagine that it would be. If they are owned by PLRD, I would imagine they'd be, same as any other, school property, but the rest would be taxable, right? So.
Yeah, they'd be ours to sell.
Yeah.
No different than Field in Place.
So there's 5 lots in Field in Place that's in the state, right?
Correct.
No, that is confidential.
How much we can discuss that.
It's not confidential, guys, but
Well, it is. For the public today, is it not?
I'm sorry, I can't hear anybody. What are you saying?
What he asked was there's 5 lots in field in place are in the state. I don't know that we can discuss that right now. There is an offer, there are purchases, there are agreements in place on those properties as we speak. What happens beyond that time frame is we'll have to deal with it at that time.
It's really none of our business.
Correct.
It's none of our business.
I look at it as right now, they're currently sold.
Yeah, that's exactly.
They're owned privately.
Yeah. Okay, lots of interest there. Matthew, on panel, please.
Yeah, you can see Kevin and Michelle's, and I'll add to them. We had a meeting at Centennial Place. We were talking about family activities. So I think in October, we're looking to run family fun days on Sundays, every other Sunday at Centennial Place. So we thought we'd start off with maybe like a dodgeball competition, like a family show with your family play dodgeball, like easy games to play that were not, you had to have a certain skill
From
set.
my childhood at dodgeball.
So we thought we would run that one Sunday, maybe like a soccer, and we'd see how many people showed up, and maybe we'd do like a tournament or just one big fun thing for a couple hours. So give people something to do.
I have a question. Just regarding the road infrastructure for Pioneer and Palliser Trail. Is there an update as far as the date for completion?
Well, they're hoping to get Palliser done before Friday for the rodeo. They might not have the lines painted, but they'll put dots in, is what they said. So that should be done. Pioneer is a different story because we had to delay because of the wildlife. So and now they're working on how they're going to dam off around the bridge. So I think they said it's the end of October. I think is the date. I can't remember what they said.
When they'll be done? End of November.
Yeah.
Or mid-November.
Is it midnight? Yeah, it changes, but yeah.
Right now, last I heard was September 15th, November 15th.
With the line painting on Pioneer, has there been any thought given to a walking path down one side of it?
I think they've made it wider, so when the line goes in, there'll be
A safe area?
yeah, but they couldn't add that because it'd be
No.
extra, but I think they've done a little bit
Or
wider.
we can move our lines over, because right now, basically, there's only ever been a center line down there, there's never been lines on the shoulders.
Yeah, I think what we.
Trust me, I'm a blind guy, we're line the center line.
Thank you.
Okay, Kevin's report.
Chris, I have a question, I'm sorry, but I do see the comment regarding the beach area of Fox Lake and versus the weeds that had taken over. Has there been discussion on that? Are people in favor of that, or is this just sort of in response to an individual's concern?
We've had no other people bring this to us about the beach. We we get the comments from Google, and they're usually always 5-star reviews. We don't get any complaints about the beach. I know Kevin's had at least 2 discussions with special areas on what would be a good plan to deal with that. So, if it's council's direction on what they want to do with that beach, we can do whatever you want us to do to that beach. It just would cost more in funding and more time and staff, but we can do whatever council's direction is on that beach.
And so the reason I'm asking is because I was the individual that asked about it. And I did talk to some people that were at Fox Lake at that point and what they thought of the leaves, the beach area or sand area, whatever. And they said, yeah, it would be nice to be able to see through that or whatever. But I am not expecting someone to reply or respond just based on my feedback. Is there been any other feedback that is going to be, requested or from residents or what? So, you know, it's nice to bring things forward, but it's also nice to have feedback to say, yes, that is the direction we want to go versus just going on one person's inquiry or comments or things of that nature.
Well, Mr. Mayor,
Councilor Ward?
just make a comment. I read the concern about that particular piece of property. I know years ago, though, a lot of people, we used to go out there and just spend time on the beachfront. And I mean, it was nice. You spend time in the park, you spend time there, but because there is not really any beachfront anymore, I mean, people have no desire. They just go to Prairie Oasis. So is it a viable piece of property that we could maybe just clean it up and make it more user friendly, where people would want to go out there and spend time on that beachfront? There's a playground there, there's a camp kitchen there. We used to have community events, used to go out there and do barbecues. I'm not out there enough, but
Where the beachfront is, there's no, like, where the weeds are right now, there's no beach. It's
Yeah.
just- So I mean, to actually put a beach there, you'd have to haul sand in and everything, and it would be a huge undertaking, would be my suspicion. But, not saying it's not doable, I just with. Yeah,
Well, and I guess my concern is that we ask everybody else to look after the weeds within their area. And then I was out there and near the dock area where there was a dock at one point, which I'm not saying should be or whatever, but the weeds were taller than I was. And you could lose a small child in there.
so I guess I have another question then. The people that maintain the park and look after it, is any of that part of something they do? Is that part, that's totally something separate?
That was,
That would be on us to look after the beach part.
and I always understood that was their role, but I guess not necessarily.
Councilor?
I guess a couple of comments. When we were out there 2 weeks ago, we had 7 trailers out there with our group of friends, kids ranging from 2 to 17. We probably spent 50% of that weekend out on the water, between kayaks and kids just running and throwing stuff for the dogs out there running around. It's not ideal going through there, but I also look at the fact that Special Areas has a machine to do their beach every single morning, and staff to do it. So, I mean, and I don't think there's a happy medium where you can do it once in a while. It's kind of all in, and all in, I think, would be a lot, in my mind. The water quality is fortunately going to be what it is without a massive investment. We got no leeches on us. We were fine. Everybody's splashing around in there. I'd be concerned about the investment. I mean, ideally, you can knock the weeds down once a year and it's good, but that's not going to be the case. And you're still fighting the same battle. My feedback, it's all or nothing, and all is just insurmountable.
This was a really good week going here. Yeah. Councilor David?
Is most of our problems because of the low water level? Like if it comes back up to full level again, does a lot of our weed problem go away?
No.
Brings the
No.
water level up?
No, because then it's still just, if the water comes up, it covers up some of that dirt, but then it's terrible dirt with.
Yeah.
Because right now there's an area between water that never
Yeah.
used to be
Yeah.
beach, right? Like the
Yeah.
water levels. It's, I won't say historically low, because a few of us in the room can remember walking across it, but. Yeah.
Sorry.
We've stopped up there a few times, sir, like this. Cause I've worked on the beaches out at Prairie Oasis, like center. We got tractors out there all the time, cultivating it, but we'd have to double the sand, that's the whole thing out here. Because like you said, our beach is 20 feet short. And that's the whole big problem right now. Grass problem took over because it's grass. Where when the water level was up, it was nice. Yeah. But it is expensive.
It's been neglected for too long.
Yeah,
No, that's the worst of it.
the whole thing is, like. For people that take care of that, that's not their responsibility, and you've got caretakers that just maintain the beaches and stuff, so.
Yeah, I guess that was all I was
Yeah.
concerned with, is to me, it looks pretty shoddy and very neglected and not attractive. And if I were coming from another area, I wouldn't come back. And so you really have no idea how many people are not going to come back. And I guess if you want to invest something in that Box Lake, that seems to be I know they've got power and water and services and such. I guess that depends on how much people want to invest into it. And, yeah, I wasn't saying adding sand. I was just saying control the weeds, and mowing them could be one easy way to address it, and on a regular basis. I don't know that it's too hard to mow some of the weeds and get them out of the way, and just keep mowing it until, yeah, but I guess it all depends what people want to invest time and effort into.
The amount of money that's been invested out at Fox Lake over the years, like, I mean, I can, he says. It's phenomenal. It's absolutely.
I sat on Fox Lake Park Committee for years when I was on Community Services Board, and we were looking at building a dike along the south end, because water level was so high, it came up and was taking out all our good mature trees and all that, and eroding away campsites. So this pendulum does swing on the water level.
Well, I was gonna say, because about 37 years ago, when my wife and I were on our honeymoon, this was our first stop with Fox Lake. But it was
Question
our
your
first
planning ability, but anyways.
But, no, I mean, we just got here, going road, and the stalls at just to the west side of the road, they were tenting only, because you couldn't get a vehicle down there at that time, the water was that high. And, and we were tented, so like I said, 37 years ago, the water was there, and it was relatively close to where we were tented, so. Again, back to, as you indicated, Mr. Mole, about the walking across and how dry it can be. We've also, and I've seen, we had the snowmobile on the water, and there's lots of things that happen. And I think, unfortunately, with evolution, as far as people using it, my mother and father-in-law think it's one of the best campgrounds in the whole countryside. They travel all over the place, and it's one of their favorites. Then why, I don't know. I wouldn't camp there, but I don't camp, so. But yeah, okay, so let's move along to community services coordinator.
Yeah, other than what she says in the report, like I said, she's gonna be working on planning these activities at Centennial Place.
One thing for Centennial Place, Kitty's Corner Play School is back in Centennial Place. The school attempt project thing kind of fell through, but thank you. And so they're there, and the after-school program that Michelle had mentioned. So Kitty's Corner Play School is going to clean up a portion of their room. They allow for the school program to operate in that space. So, also,
I just want to point out what I've heard, that after school program has gotten rave reviews and people love it. It's going to be a good segue for people, between work to get your kids to dance, whatever activities there. It fills a good gap that parents really appreciate around town. It's wonderful.
also open, so
I have a comment regarding the fall community showcase. I understood there were 20 tables, but I understood the foot traffic was very poor. I'm just wondering if it is a worthwhile cause, if how many organizations are taking applications or something online and stuff. Is it something that is really needed or not? And I think it's been going downhill for quite some time.
And speak to that just a little.
yes.
We've had that discussion internally as staff and bounced around some ideas and everything.
Because the registration deadlines for the major sports, hockey, dance, the big ones are much earlier than this can be held. So we talked about possibly doing it once a year. We talked about different ideas to increase that foot traffic, and so it's not a discussion that hasn't been happening.
I know talking to a couple of the groups, they use it more as a showcase instead of a registration, like 4-H, for example, set up a booth. And they're starting a bunch of different programs. They've got a pen program to help so
Yeah.
they're looking at several different options, and they use that as a information session, basically. So you're too old for 4-H, also, but
Well, that's good to see that there's some other discussion regarding it. Yeah, and if it can get more foot traffic in, that'd be great.
and go ahead.
I'd like to thank Brent, for fixing that storm sewer in front of our lot there. Turned out, looks like pretty good, eh?
Any other questions? Council Board?
You hear me inhale, sorry.
Well, I assumed, yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah, sorry. I guess I had some comments. I'm not sure if this is the place for you about GFL.
We have GFL on the 9.15.
Okay, I'll leave it to them. Thank you.
Any other questions of any of the senior administrators? Okay, you get a motion to council accept senior administrative reports 8.01 to 8.03 as presented for information. Councilor Farrell, I assume you have. All in favor? Carried. Business items, ACO franchise.
Through the church council, every year ACO asks us if we want to increase our franchise fees. Right now they're at 7.5%. So there is an option to increase those if we feel that that's necessary. There's a little chart on there that shows us what our estimated franchise fee will be in 2026 is estimated. So it's just to get a slight increase based on the 2024 and 2025 data that they provided for us. So the recommendation would be just to keep it the same. And then
Discussion, Council Murphy.
What are other towns like us doing? Are they around 7.5%?
yeah, it's not just every person that's on.
Oh, I never was that sure. Okay.
I think it depends on if they're a wealthy community or if they're not a wealthy community. If they're if it's a municipality that's in a wealthy ND or county, then they're probably lower than average.
Because they get other forms of income.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are average from 1.5
Yeah.
to 12.5. I think there was one that was,
Almost 8.
Fort Mac, 0.68.
yeah.
Yeah, they have.
So there's
They have
a
other-
huge,
yeah.
for various reasons.
Look at that.
Council Booth.
I'd like to see them stay the same, like not increase.
Any more discussion? We need a motion to that effect. Council Bowman, you want to make a motion to leave the franchise fee for 7.5%.
I think, wasn't that what was proposed as far as?
Yeah, I'm just asking if you'd like to make
Sure,
that
I
motion.
will,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
Perfect.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Carried. Taxation report 9.02.
Do you want to speak about Winona or me?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. Sorry, I don't have it in front of me. Basically, it's, it stays the same, year to year. I know the value looks, August 31st looks a little higher than it did last year. But in the month of September, we usually get, quite a few payments in. So it does average it out. And as you can see, December 31st, numbers fluctuate too with the year of the properties, so we write letters to the taxpayer saying their taxes are due and are overdue. Give them that chance to come in and pay before the next penalty goes on. And we write them a couple times a year, keep in contact with them and try to work with them as best we can.
Council Bowman?
There are several that are on a payment plan now, correct?
Yep.
And that seems to be working quite well for some.
Oh, definitely, yeah. No, that brings in quite a bit of money every month, so it's a good plan to be on, monthly payments.
Is there like a promotion?
Nope.
To get that out
There's
as far as
no-
just to remind people that this isn't an option or it's already in there?
We advertise it, it's on your tax notice and we advertise it, so that it's available and like I say, when people are looking for options, we definitely say that this is a great option and yeah, so there's a lot on it. So it's a really good.
So is there a penalty, for example, if I was to be on that like payment plan and I missed hypothetically speaking December for whatever reason? There's no penalty for being late.
December's a hard month because, so we work with people if they're, say, hey, I can't do this month, but I can do.
But all taxes have to be paid on August 31st for the current year.
Yeah.
So if I miss December.
So if you miss December, then yes, you would be
Have to pay
penalized. Yep, definitely.
Okay.
But we do work with people to get them caught up and, so, yeah.
Perfect. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great program.
The only downside for us poor folk is if you're behind, you can't be on the payment plan.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
You just have to come talk to us.
Options, that was not an option. I don't know.
Yeah.
When did that change? Do you know?
Done it for years.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we try to
No
work.
longer own, but when I
We
did
tried,
own,
yeah.
that was not available. Yeah. Oh, well. Good to know. It's
Yeah.
changed.
Any other questions for Matthew or Naomi? We get a motion to accept the 2025 taxation report for information. Council Olson, all in favor? Carried. 2025 election.
So through the chair and council, we're just looking to set some advanced voting dates on Thursday, October 9th, October 14th. In the council chambers, so you just need approval to do that.
We'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Warwick.
The four was the 8th, right? Before that?
Yes.
The forum is the 8th. That's already been set
Before
down.
this, the candidates forum on the 8th.
Chamber of Commerce is operating that, I believe. And
Correct. Okay, so we have a motion on the table to approve the early polling dates. All in favor? Carried. Elections, officer fees,
Nope. Elector assistants.
elector assistants, sorry.
Yeah, again, through the chair to council, this is just to get somebody who can't get out to vote, that somebody can go and vote in their place. So we just need approval on them.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Warwick, all in favor? Carried. Now. Very well, go ahead.
Yeah, this is just to set the fees to pay the election officers to vote the election. Set the fee at $275, an additional $30 fee. If they assist with the ballot roll, we kindly required.
Councilor Roden,
I'll make that motion.
okay. All in favor? Carried. Election. Joint use.
Yeah, this is just to the Prairie Land School Division have their election on the same day, so it's just to have those elections together.
Questions?
That, excuse me, that's something they've always done.
Yeah.
Yeah, so works well.
Motion? Councilor Thurl, all in favor? Carried. Amendment of the community services fees and charges policy.
Yeah, through the chair, this is just reviewing our policies that we have this wedding facility rental that it just seems limited that if we're gonna make the facilities available during this time period, that it's limited just to weddings. Just seems restricted. There could be birthday parties or other events, you know, or family reunions that want to get together. So we just wanted to change the wording of that, keep everything else the same, the times and the fees, but just to make it more inclusive.
Sure, I'll do that.
Councilor Code, thank you.
I have a question just in regards to that. So just for clarification, so if you're booking for a wedding, it's $1,500 for the weekend. You're booking for any other event and you get it from, just let me see, from Friday at noon till Sunday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days. If you're booking for any other event, it's $700 a day. So what prevents people from, say, I'm having a wedding and have a family gathering? I mean, we're not monitoring this stuff. Why don't we just have, why can't we just have a standard weekend fee?
That's what we're doing.
That's
What this is.
Just gets rid of the word wedding.
Yeah.
Because it's from wedding to weekend booking.
Okay, yeah. So I got another question then, Mr. Mayor, can I, okay. So if we're changing this now, which means the fee structure has changed.
The fee will stay the same. It would just, then the wording has changed from wedding event to
Event.
To event, okay, so I just have a living example, is I rented the community center a few weeks at the end of July, and I questioned this. The wording and the pricing, because when I rented the facility, $100 a day. And we had a jamboree, and now we're saying it can be an anything event for $1,500 for the weekend.
Let's cheer back.
So what I'm saying then is I paid more money in July than I should have had to pay based on this wording in this motion.
Because the wording's changing in September.
Yeah, when I bought the sofa from the brick, they told me the price went any cheaper within 60 days. I get my, I get it at a cheaper price.
Oh, so
Thank you for your contribution.
do you want me to put a proposal together to come back and see if I can retroactively get a discounted fee for the event? Oh,
Councilor Mark.
I tell you guys.
I was on CSB when some of this stuff was set, when we took it over. Community Services Board in the town inherited it from the Community Center Board. Used to run it at the time, and when they went defunct, they wanted to turn it over to the town.
Board?
They had their own board when it was built. Originally, it was ran by its own board, separate from the town. We kind of inherited it whether we wanted it or not. And this thing, you gotta, just to point out, counselors, Friday at noon, not all day Friday. And the idea was people were trying to come in at 7 a.m. wanting the keys to set up for their wedding. So it was to give them a setup time on Friday. It wasn't ever intended that the event went at noon on Friday. It was your setup time to come in and get everything ready. Your event was Saturday and Sunday. You might have gift opening and you're out by 3 o'clock, not the whole day Sunday. So that the hours are limited for that.
Theoretically have an event.
They could.
Friday,
Yep.
Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, that just to give you some history on the intent, and I'm aging myself here by.
And just for clarity, so if you're coming in at 9 o'clock, you're gonna have to pay the $700 per day.
Correct. Correct.
Versus noon.
That's why I wanted to point it out, Counselor, because I think your event starts before noon, right?
You feel ripped off.
Oh.
So she would.
The event starts at noon.
Well, thank you for bringing that anyhow. I love the new format. I think it is very
But
clear.
it's still noon on Fridays. You gotta change that.
Next year.
Oh, I'll be,
So
I will. Don't you worry. I'll be all over that.
Break.
okay, so we have a motion on the table to eliminate the word wedding to event. Council Warwick,
Yes.
all in favor? Carried.
You can afford it.
Brooks Asphalt,
Through the chair, we're just looking for approval to get the bridge work done as a change order instead of sending it out as a tender again. And he is advised that this would be a cost-effective way to do this. So, well, because it's a pretty big change order, we need council approval.
I'll do that.
Council. Favor? Carried. 9.09.
Through the chair again, this is just to get agreement to sign the bylaw enforcement services agreement with the town of Oyen. I think there are council meetings either tonight or.
Yes, tonight.
So that it's on their agenda, so they are planning on approving it, the last I heard, so we would just need our approval as well, then we can get it signed, and then Sky will do our 1 day with Oyen every week.
I would be happy to make that motion.
Council Murphy, any more discussion? All in favor? Carried. County Firefighters Association,
And I think the chair of the council, we need. To donate the 2001 Ford F-350 rescue truck to the Hanna Firefighter Association for resale, so they can use it for their fundraising.
For their fundraising?
Mr. Mole, would you like to speak to that, please?
Yeah, typo first, it's an F-550, not an F-350, my apologies, missed that in the original draft. 550, yep. Just to have it accurate.
Yeah.
This is what was done back when we bought this truck in 2001. Council had given us the old one to go market and see how much money we could raise by selling it. And of course, any money we raise goes back into firefighting equipment, and we would earmark this to go into the training field out back for the next phases of that. I want to be able to market it by talking to different fire chiefs and see if I can get a little bit of a mini bidding war going on it and see how much we can get for it. Versus just throwing it on an auction and hoping that two people
Right.
don't get together and lowball and you're stuck with what it is, right? Once you throw it on an auction, and because it's such specialized equipment, I've got a lot of contacts in the industry that I'd like to start talking to. For anybody's wondering why now and why we haven't disposed of it sooner, the town at Oyen Fire Department and Special Areas requested that they be able to use the truck while they rebuilt Oyen's rescue onto a new chassis, and that took a lot longer than anticipated. So since we got our new rescue over a year ago, it was in storage in Youngstown for a while. Then it was in Oyen Fire running as their rescue for months. Special Areas took it back, serviced it again, put the new window in it that got broke, and brought it back up here now just in late June. And unfortunately, I missed the June meeting with it. So hence the reason it's coming up now.
So it must have really no mileage then too, does it?
Low mileage, but it is
In good
a
shape.
2001.
Yeah.
And the Ford 7.3 Power Stroke diesels, the parts are getting harder. yeah, it's getting harder and harder to keep those ones going. It showed it was time. But for a smaller department that runs maybe 4 or 5 MVAs a year, it might be a really good truck for them.
Yeah.
Probably go to somebody that's just getting into motor vehicle accidents, just starting to provide that service. So we did talk to special areas, they weren't interested.
Mhm.
Typically, if special areas is interested in a truck, we'll usually sell it to them for $2.
Not
So,
much of a fundraiser.
no, that wouldn't have been, so I can't say I was severely upset, when they declined, but we always offer our trucks to them. First, our last engine we sold to the town of Empress. So hopefully it'll stay somewhere where we can see it again. We still see our old 1981 truck, with Craig Moss, so.
Oh, that's nice. Sounds forward.
I'd make the motion to approve the F-550 rescue truck. I like the idea that they'll reinvest it into the organization. I think that's a really great policy. And thank you for doing that.
Gary,
Thank you.
Public Works surplus equipment.
Through the chair to council, Brent has identified some equipment that is no longer needed and not in use, so they would the opportunity to either send this to public auction, trade it in, or sell it some other ways to get some funds for these equipment.
Have we had any success with those tenders?
I'm not sure what they've done in the past, but
I know for smaller equipment, we've done the closed tender thing.
I think that
We did that with the case loader.
Brent felt he would get more money if it went to auction. That would.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question, come forward.
And so with that lot auction, is that local or somewhere? Calgary, Edmonton?
Probably.
Yeah, I think he said he would get, if he went farther away, he would get more money.
That's like Airdrie or something has a.
Yeah, like there's one for municipality, just offered a purchasing connection and the municipality can post stuff. And you just say, it can be viewed in Hanna. And anybody can go on and do it, especially there's stuff with all their surplus, like it's just a government place, it's broadcasted everywhere. Yeah, it's good accessibility there. I suspect that's what you would put it.
I think so.
I know special areas has shown a little bit of interest in the sanding truck.
So, Mr. Mayor, that's my next question. If there's anybody local that would be interested in any of this stuff, what is the opportunity that we give them? And, you
I
said,
think we need to establish a fair market value. And offer it at that fair market value or perceived fair market value.
yeah, that's right.
Special areas has been a very good partner with us. And if they were interested in that sanding truck, I feel that we should give them the first opportunity to purchase it at fair market value. I don't know that they would be interested in any of the other equipment as it varies. Well, I don't specialize data analysis with that. But I know we have inquired about the sanding truck because of the size for some of the smaller communities that they plow in, so.
I know that there's probably other businesses that would be, interested and would definitely be interested in fair market value. So what is the opportunity we're giving these people to?
Okay.
Well, they could access that.
It would be the same as everybody, but I think Brent has been talking to special areas regarding that truck, so that may come to the next time.
Okay.
I'm just saying that if we give special areas, are we giving other people in our community and businesses opportunity in the same manner?
Anyone can bid to the
Yeah.
public works.
Well, I mean,
But we're not taking this one to Public Works. We're negotiating this one separately and privately. Yes, it's not going to the auction.
Well, nothing has been established. They've just shown, I've heard some interest from them, and so,
So
I just think we should give councils, so.
I just said the motion reads to dispose of this deemed appropriate by administration. We could just put a end of it, ensuring locals get first access, whether it's just, public advertisements that or we can throw it there, or Brent reaching out to a few that he knows deal with this equipment. Yeah, we can just put at the end of that, ensuring locals get first look at fair market value then.
And I would support that, because I think
Yeah.
I'm not asking to, undercut or give them away for free. And we're asking for fair market value, but I think it's, upon us to, give those opportunities to others in our community and businesses too, that could possibly use some of
We could
these
do that.
equipment.
Be posted on the
The
website.
first right of refusal.
Each side, like a week of local before we posted.
Okay, Counselor Cole?
You also have to realize if you put it in auction, they're gonna take a commission.
Oh, yeah, there's.
You know, so I mean, if you put a fair market value on it,
You're gonna also pay a seller's fee,
take off, 30% or whatever.
That's
the-
right.
It's on an auction. Companies.
You could just take bids, Mr. Mayor, locally with a reserve number that you know, that Brent knows. And when it doesn't hit the reserve number, it wasn't high enough, send it to auction.
yeah, that's.
Then you get the best of both worlds. The locals get a chance to put a bid, but if I'll give you $10 for the Bobcat right now, and if nobody else bids, you're probably not gonna wanna sell it to me for $10.
Well, I put 15 on it, so.
One,
25. Yeah.
that,
And
So I
then
think let's let Brent and Matthew come up with a fair market value. We could do a closed tender with the reserve on each piece of equipment. And if the reserve isn't met, then we will send it to auction. Everybody like that?
Yeah.
Okay, can we get a motion to that effect, Counselor Cole? All in favor? Carried.
So just send us a memo, what you're asking.
No, no.
So just send us a memo, what it looks like.
Okay, so 9.12, the arena,
Subscribe to the newsletter and.
Yeah, I don't- There's some guys that understand.
9.12, replacing the fire alarm at the arena. What for? It's what I'm saying.
I think that's sort of like a automatic thing, isn't it?
Yeah, through the chair, we're asking for roughly 11,600. They might come out to be less to refer this arena fire alarm panel. Kevin, they said that they could do like a patch job, which would be $2,000, but they didn't guarantee that that would last any length of time. So it's better just to replace the system. So it's an unbudgeted expense, and again, the council can make that.
I don't think that's something that we patch.
Yeah.
and it's completely out now.
Yeah.
So they are doing fire watch the radio weekend. Walking the floor.
I think the ask was 7,000, but he thinks that if they do them both together, they'll come in a little bit less than that.
Counselor Thurl. All in favor? Carried.
So the whole rodeo weekend, there's no fire. Oh, and I'm going there and I'm
Procedures are in place, and they're perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Worked with Kevin, worked with Eric, procedures, everything's under control.
Okay, 9.13, delegation from the Hanna Pro Rodeo. Request,
I thought we had GFL.
GFL's number 15, Counselor Kroll.
I would make the motion with the $5,000 for the rodeo. They bring in a tremendous amount of income to this community. And
Okay, so we have a motion from Counselor Murphy to increase to a flat rate of $5,000. In forgiveness of rent and so on and so forth. Any other discussion?
No, that's in addition to what they're already getting.
No.
no,
It is just strictly a 5,000 to raise that up to
Instead of
them.
the 34, 37, it would be $5,000.
Works out to about 40% discount instead of 25-ish, 35 to 40.
So we have a motion on the table.
Yeah, that they were looking at.
Counselor,
Yeah, they were looking in addition, $5,000 in addition to what they already have.
I think they wanted that as the max, because that was it, like, yes, asked what
Yeah.
was your number? And they
Yeah.
said
It's
5,000.
the ask is 5,000.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. All in favor? Carried. 9.14, the delegation, in regards to the chairs for the roundhouse, grand opening, requesting a forgiveness of the, yes, Council.
I would like to be removed from voting because it's a conflict of interest, please. Abstaining.
So the request is basically for a $400, what would you call it in lieu?
Donation.
Gift in kind. That's what
Happy to
I'm
make
looking
that
for.
motion, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Murphy, all in favor? Carried.
And I'll thank you on behalf of them.
9.15, GFL. Mr. Mole, would you like to speak, please?
Yes, love Facebook, love the weekend. I've went through. Find out how many friends you got when people are calling you, telling you should start yelling and screaming back, but I don't believe in getting into being a keyboard warrior on Facebook. So the GFL fire on Thursday was not a approved controlled burn. They did not deliberately light anything on fire. The compost pile self-combusted, which is what compost can do. When it's heating with the wind blowing across it, it started a very small fire in the compost pile. It just so happened that I was the first person to spot the fire as I was coming back into town from the farm. Stopped. I phoned Vicky with GFL. She said she'd get someone out there right away. It's under control. It's not going to get out. I left. I let dispatch know that there's a small fire happening. Anybody calls in, call me. Don't page out the fire department because they're going to put it out the loader in a few minutes. I drove across town to my shop, was there 30 seconds, went to my house, and I was already phoned by Vicky with GFL saying that they had it out. Went to UFA to get fuel, and 911 was calling me saying they're getting calls from a business about how toxic and terrible it was. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't see anything. I will go check it out again. I went and checked it out again at about 5:02 p.m. and there was nothing. It was 100% out and the loaders were still working on it. I estimated that I come across it at about 4:45, 4:50. So we're talking a 15-minute window. I am more than happy with how GFL reacted to the complaint. They have followed up with me several times since. Alberta Environment has contacted me yesterday to have a discussion about what was burning and what was going on. This site may not be perfect and we may not love that we let it in on our front doorstep, but they really can't be faulted for this. It's something that can happen when you have compost. We knew they were going to be blending compost and sulfur when it was approved way back before my time as development officer. It's not unrealistic to think you're going to have the audience in a facility that size. So I have no real concerns about what happened there on last Thursday. Questions on that?
No, for nothing.
Do they have 24-hour people at the facility if they have something that could just spontaneously combust that had you not driven by could have turned into an unpleasant incident?
No, they do not staff 24/7, nor do I request them to or think it would be reasonable for them to.
Okay.
Somebody would have called this in on the highway shortly, just because when I got to the east end of town, you could definitely see an eye. But when I first seen it, I had to go back and look and go, is that actually burning?
Right.
Because it was inside surrounded by other piles, so you couldn't see the seat of the fire.
I saw a little bit.
Just seeing the smoke coming up caught my eye, but you can ask my wife, I see smoke a lot of places. There's not smoke, there's alkali, so I even doubted myself. When I got to the east end of town, I happened to look over my shoulder, you could see it's like the guy that was with me, I said, oh yeah, it's definitely burning, we're gonna get phone calls. And they have a safety plan where they're supposed to, when they're done work, turning the piles, working on it.
Yes.
Where they leave it untouched for an hour and then check it again before going home.
For the temperature, right?
For the temperature, they're going to change how they're probing, make sure they're probing it more often towards the end of the day, making sure that there's not a problem, watering down anything that was a hot spot earlier in the day. I'm dealing, when I say they, I'm dealing with the general manager of Calgary with Todd.
Yeah.
And I'm more than happy with their responses. They reached out to me Friday morning before I reached out to them. And we talked 3 times on Friday. They're taking it serious. They know they're not the most loved business in our community. So they're really trying hard to be.
More liked, at least
Yep.
respected. So is it accurate in any way, shape or form that 3 people were hospitalized because of breathing concerns from this toxic fume? That's a huge concern for our community.
I have no way of knowing if they checked into a hospital. I've heard the same thing. I did ask 911 when they phoned me, because that's what my instructions them were to do, that if they had a call for fire, to phone my cell, and I'll determine if I wanted fire trucks to go.
Okay.
And when they said that there's toxic smoke and that, people are gonna have to go to the hospital, I said, so they requested multiple ambulances. And dispatch told me, no, they did not ask for any ambulances. And I'm like, interesting, but I am at UFA and I will be on site again in 2 minutes to see what's going on. And we literally drove straight from UFA Fuel out there. The gates were still open, the loaders were still doing their thing. There was no smoke, no toxic, nothing. And compost can burn. I mean, it's like a grass fire. It's mixed with whatever. It's not great, but it wasn't like it was sulfur burning mixed in. It wasn't the blended material burning, because usually once it's blended, it's pretty inert other than the sulfur itself. So, and at no time was I concerned about it getting out. It's surrounded by their blended piles. There's nowhere for it to go where this fire was, right? If it was on the edge of the, I'd be concerned, but I had no concerns, or I would have sat there and waited for them to get there and put it out with the loader and watched it. My concern was so low, I did not stick around to watch it. I wish I had now, so I could witness how bad the smoke got and whether it was causing a problem.
So it's usually blowing towards town.
The wind was out of the northwest. I estimated at about 25 kilometers an hour, but that was an estimate. It was starting to pick up pretty
Okay,
good.
so it was going this way, so it would have been going towards the restaurant.
Yes. Yeah, kind of cutting,
Angle.
almost more at the service state at the tow truck yard than the restaurant, but I definitely would be unpleasant. But I don't see, under 15 minutes is a pretty good response to have something looked after, right? And it's unrealistic to think they're never going to have incidents at an industrial facility, right?
Well, how many spontaneous bale fires can you respond to in a year?
Depends on the year, but yeah, if we get a year that's wet like this was, and it's put up wet, and we get an early snowfall, we can get bale stacks all over the place heating
So
up.
we've got rain coming, apparently. Is it, now that they're all packed, is it safer?
What happens with the bales is if they're baled tough, so wet, and then you get the right conditions.
Then,
Yeah,
right, but if they were baled dry,
they're bale dry, they're fine.
but once they're tight, then it won't soak through.
No, usually won't soak through. It's when they get in the stacks tough, they haul them quickly and get them into their stacks. They can off gas, everything off gases, everything in this room's off gassing at some rate right now. And they get off gassing. You put 4 inches or 3 inches of snow across it and the heat can't get out. And that's when we get the bale stack fires in like November. And you know what it is, so.
I have a question. Do you think there is, the amount of compost they have stacked there is a concern or not?
No, they blend it relatively quick. Like they don't. The actual raw compost itself, they usually, from what I've noticed, they don't seem to wait very long before they start blending it and mixing it. And then that's what we see piled. What we see piled is mostly the finished product that's blended.
Yeah, and that's what they're supposed to, is to.
I mean, you got compost coming in and everything's coming in, sulfur's coming in, compost coming in, finished products going out. It's a regular rotation of trucks. Or there's some mornings there's trucks lined up at the gate. You probably seen them. Right now it's a quiet time. They're closing at 3 p.m. So they've been off site for 2 hours when this happened. And that I have no concerns with the amount of product they have there, just because it is, once it's blended, it's really not an issue.
And sulfur sitting by itself?
Sulfur can be an issue. But so far to date, we've only ever had one incident with them with sulfur fire, and it was small and it was on scraped clean dirt. where some sulfur laying there and something set it off, and it was a very slow moving. And same thing, we used shovels and a bucket and threw dirt on it until their loader got fired up and finally put it out. And that's the only 2 fire calls that we've had since they've been in existence. We've only had 2 incidents with GFL where, and both of them did not require fire trucks, just needed to alert their staff. So I did ask Todd to redo their signage at the front gate to make sure that it's very clear as to which numbers are the priority numbers to call, so that if anybody comes by and sees smoke and stops, there's numbers for any of my guys if they happen to be going by, so that they can stop and have a number readily available. Because the contact I was calling, I found out isn't necessarily running it anymore, but it's still with the company, so I have to change my phone numbers too. They've been good to work with from both a development and a fire point of standpoint.
Thank you.
Any other questions, Councilor Olson?
Totally outside of the incident, but I just wanted to go over a couple spots. Like, this is the approval they got in 2021. Just so that it's clear, the line in there, this is from the province, from Energy and Environment. The approval holder shall prevent the off-site migration of dust containing sulfur. Very literal, black and white line. This is what we based our protection on in this town when we passed it. They brought samples of it in. We saw it and smelt it. It was nothing like the experience that was there. So when we saw this approval from the province, we felt protected. The next section on page 11 of their approval says, immediately upon receiving a complaint problem on odor or dust resulting from the plant operations, the approval holder shall undertake any or all of the following measures: investigation, minimize, monitor. Part of it is construct, improve, extend, or enlarge a plant, structure, or thing if that is necessary to control or eliminate the problem. And take any other action the director considers to be necessary. The director being an employee of the GOA designated as a director under the Environmental Protection and Enhancement Act. The reason I wanted this as a business item, I would love to see a motion where we can give Matthew, administration direction to talk to Energy and Environment, hold them to task to this, because they have not done what this approval said they would have to do, and what we depended on the protection. They've attempted to mitigate. It doesn't say to mitigate. It says prevent the offsite migration of dust. A windscreen will mitigate. It will not prevent. The only prevention is buildings appropriate for the amount of product you have there. If they have more product, they need more buildings. Hell yeah, it's going to cost a lot of money. It didn't say pending a business plan that would make them viable. I would really, and we'll have some discussion, but I'd certainly like to have a motion that says exactly that, where we can direct Matthew to reach out to them. And I'd like to see their opinion. They sent an inspector out once, I'm aware of. I've talked to some of them. They're probably out regularly. Last one I talked to says he only wants to come in winter when you can see yellow on the snow. But that was a couple years ago.
I know there was some soil sampling done here approximately 2.5 weeks ago. Todd reached out to me to find out to talk to about accessing the public works shop. So I know there was some soil sampling done. Now what that entails, I don't profess site sampling. I know that the Alberta Environment was there today to collect samples from the continuous monitoring devices. Those are things that I know for a fact that have happened.
And those devices like on their property line, I assume?
Property line, I believe, yes.
So if they find sulfur in those collection devices, there's evidence it's migrating off the site. And that's where I'd love to follow up and make sure they commit them to that section of their approval.
Well, and I have and it may have already been mentioned, but as far as the air quality, I imagine, I believe there are, is that what's around as well, air quality control, or to monitor the quality of air? And who monitors that? Do they, or is environment monitoring that? Like,
They'll have to submit the
regular readings on a daily or whatever basis. And so if that's all kept, well, and then that's submitted to environment.
Correct.
Yeah, it's just, it makes you wonder really, especially if nothing has really been to prevent the migration. And that environment hasn't really been on top of that. Just makes you wonder maybe if there's something else too or not.
The environment guy that called me was pretty. He was not just calling because he had to, he was digging, he was giving for answers, and he had a lot of questions, and we probably talked for 10 minutes on Monday, yesterday, about it. So, you know, I'd say, obviously they had a complaint about the fire, and I would say they were taking it extremely serious, because to get somebody from Alberta Environment, when something happened Thursday night or complaint Friday, for him to be dealing with it on Monday, that's pretty fast for government.
I believe it was in the media, was it not?
Oh yeah, Global News was out here on Friday.
So that is, you know, a huge issue.
Sorry, sometimes that's what it takes to get, because
Some
we
response,
tried,
yeah.
we talk about it and
Yeah.
nothing happens, so. Maybe something will happen now.
I agree with Councillor Olson about giving authority for the CAO or the mayor to actually be able to pursue. Is that, do you want to?
I'm sure Winona will pretty it up, but
Yeah.
I've moved to direct administration to get a report on their investigation on it to prove that it hasn't, that migration of sulfur hasn't happened off that site. Except a little bit better.
And are we able to find out if, and whether or not Alberta Environment found out whether or not there were people who were physically injured from this? Because, boy, lungs are a delicate thing.
Keep in mind, it wasn't sulfur burning in this case. It was strictly compost. But environment asked if I had any evidence of people being admitted to hospital. My answer is no. I heard that on Facebook. Take that for what it's worth.
I would like to support
End of goal.
To hold them to task to this approval. It literally black and white says they need to do everything they can to prevent the migration of sulfur off their site. Not reduce it, prevent. Any exposed pile, blended or not, that's not covered is exposed to wind. Not much of a scientist, but that's
I was the person in the public forum on Zoom because of COVID that asked, is there any odor in any way, shape or form? So I hear you.
Yeah, so it's there, and that's what we banked on being our protection in our town, and they've the province has failed us on this significantly in my mind.
Did they not also promise that there would never be exposed sulfur?
No, so when the compost or blended, wasn't it?
I don't remember anything like that. There was always
pile of yellow to me looks like exposed sulfur, but that's not sulfur.
It is, but they gotta bring sulfur in and have it ready and compost ready. And then that's what they're doing, is blending it. Yeah, what you see in the big piles with that yellow tinge to it is blended. That's your blended. But yeah,
Pure
they're burning.
sulfur is bright yellow, and I've yet to see a pile of bright yellow from the road ever.
They must just bring it in as needed, as used, just about, but
Didn't it used to go in a building or under a cover?
again, we've had no real reason to be on their site. We've toured their site, fires toured it just for, you know, to know where things are. But we've had no instances, no issues, so we haven't really dug into it. Dust isn't a fire issue, so.
But that was one of our concerns too, when we were going through them, and smell, dust and optics. You know, how attractive it's looking, that'd be under something, and those were all that we were told they would not be a problem.
I guess to answer that, if there's a report that shows all their testing devices show no sulfur has ever left the site, I mean, that's it.
But I don't think you can say that.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta wait for facts. Facebook sometimes leads to straight facts.
Well,
Really?
I think it's,
But not always.
Makes sense what you're asking for.
Okay, so we, normally you got a motion or a sort or some.
Sorry, I rambled.
Something to do.
I kept adding to it and deleting it. Moved by Counselor Olson that, council direct administration to contact Energy and Environment with regards to the 2021 approval that was given to the GFL to operate within the town of Hanna limits, including reports that back up the sulfur, sulfur content.
Prevent
Sulfur.
offsite migration.
Yeah,
Self-release.
section 4.1.18. That the approval holder shall prevent the off-site migration of dust containing sulfur.
What was that? Never again.
That's section 4.1.18.
Okay.
You're not quoting a development company, you're talking.
This is the Alberta approval.
So, copy that, send it to me, please.
Okay. All in favor of the motion? Carried.
Thank you for doing that research. That's awesome.
10.01 bylaw 1042-25.
Through the chair to council. Discussed this at the last council meeting, we had to, the government changed the rules on FOIP and they changed the name to. Yeah. So we had to redo, even though we just passed the FOIP, we just did a new FOIP bylaw, we had to change it to, fit those new criteria, which I went over last time, I can do it again, what the changes were. But, yeah, so we'd like to get the 3 readings in this bylaw and get it passed. There's still some stuff we'll have to do next year for the pop-up. But,
We'll pop.
So first of all, we'll need to repeal bylaw 1039-25. Being the former Freedom of Information Protection and Privacy bylaw. Motion.
Make that motion.
All in favor? Carried. Second of all, the council give the first reading to 1042-25. The town of Hanna access to information and protection and privacy bylaw. So first reading, Council Murphy, all in favor? Carried. Council give the second reading to bylaw 1042-25. Town of Hanna access to information and protection and privacy bylaw. Mr. Olson, all in favor? Carried. We need a unanimous on this one, so that the council give consent for the third and final reading of bylaw 1042-2025. Town Hanna access to information protection privacy bylaw of this meeting. Motion. Councilor Thurl, all in favor? And last but not least, council give the third and final reading to bylaw 1042-2025. The town of Hanna access to the information protection privacy bylaw. Motion. Councilor Kroll, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. Yeah. Some of them you just want to come up for a little air in between them. Council roundtable, reports and roundtable. Councilor Kroll.
just a change to the position and staff appreciation evening. It was canceled. We dropped in the dollars passing.
Yeah, it's kind of a harsh reality, 53 years old. Councilor Bowden.
I did submit a report late, and I understand that, that Ms. Gucci will be forwarding it around. I did attend a meeting this morning about, with Harvest Sky. They have a lot of activity going on with special areas, industrial park. That sounds very promising. So look forward to hearing anything more about that. And then I have nothing.
Okay, Councilor Ward.
I too, participated in the Harvest Sky Region meeting this morning. One thing that came out of that was, we had a candidate that was looking for some, property to rent. And they did look at the Visitor Information Center that I understand, because I have not toured this facility. I do not know what it encompasses, but I understand there is space in there that is being used for some kind of storage. And was not a viable option because of the fact that it was being used for storage. Although if we could have allowed this particular entity, it would have been several thousands of dollars a month to rent this space. So I guess my question is, because I don't know this stuff, and it kind of sandblasts you when you sit in these meetings and I hear this information, and this is a public facility. It's rented out to private enterprise, but I have no information about it. I don't know what the rental agreement is. I don't know how long-standing the rental agreement is. I don't know when it began, and I don't know when it ended. So I guess that's upon me to reach out and say, so who is in there? What is this? So I guess that's what I'm doing now. Is asking for that information. And I guess on a go forward basis, just as a counselor, it's nice to know what's in our facilities and what extras are in our facilities. Like if they're public facilities and they're being rented out to private enterprise, it'd be good, I think, as counselors to kind of have an understanding of what that looks like, what our agreement is, and what are the timelines. Because as I'm understanding with some of the other entities within our community, things have been put in place in the past, but there was no timelines. It's just every year we accept it as it was in the past, but there hasn't been a timeline on it. So I guess I'm just asking for this one particular facility, like what is in there and what is the timelines and what is the rental agreement? And if there is other viable options that are going to pay us, several thousands of dollars a month, is that an opportunity for us? We were $20,000 in the hole at the VIC this year. It was my understanding from the information I got today, if we could have put this rental agreement in place and rented out, that would definitely be a huge support to cover, that deficit in the VIC every year. So, I guess on a go forward, and Matthew, I'm not just throwing this at you because this is new to you. And I probably should have asked this 3 years ago. I just didn't really have an understanding. It's one of the facilities I haven't really had a tour of. And so I have no understanding of what is really in that building or what it is actually used for. So
I did talk to Thomas about that as well, but I think the person who wanted to rent it is a for-profit organization, and the people who are in it now are, I believe, a not-for-profit organization. So then, like we granted the rodeo people a massive discount because they're a nonprofit. Would we do the same for a for-profit organization? So it's what your priorities are, right? If you're want to rent this facility out for a not-for-profit organization to use to store their equipment and what they have there, then we're not going to get as much money. But if we want to strictly be for profit, then we don't hand out discounts to the rodeo and to other people. We say you pay $200 for your chairs and you pay full cost for that, right? So it's what direction council wants us to go in that regards. But I'm also told that upper level would not have been suitable for office space.
No.
That's what the conversation I had with Thomas is, I'd encouraged him to take an interested party through, or if he wanted staff to meet there to through the facility. He was talking about the upper level, the lower level wouldn't be suitable. There's no windows, so you wouldn't put anybody in there. It's restricted access because of the sewage lift station access there. And then there is some square footage at the east end of the main floor. Any of that building, I should say, this is my opinion, any of that building can be leased as far as I'm concerned. If somebody wanted to run a B&B or whatever, let's have the discussion. But how it was left with Thomas, and maybe that's a communication issue between he and I, is that it wasn't a suitable location for that enterprise.
Well, that's not the information I got, but that may have been the end result with that was not the information we got. Was that it was a suitable office space, it was a viable office space, but because there had already been somebody in there or some stuff in there, it wasn't up for options.
I believe it was Thomas wasn't told that, from me, he wasn't told that.
Okay. So, okay, thank you. I appreciate that information. I appreciate that feedback. And just one step further then, to go a little bit further with this. So, I value that we support our non-for-profits in the community because they are, they're viable, they add to our community on many levels. But, I brought this up once before and I maybe just put it out there one time again. We have no limitations on how much any organization or entity could come to the council and ask for money at any time. And I think it's upon us to draw up a criteria and some guidelines on what that looks like. So maybe even a time frame, and it doesn't always work because, there's things that happen in January that don't happen in September. But you know what? I think I think it's upon the council and the town to really define, do we have $50,000 this year that we can give to community? And then, whoever comes forward gives that money forward to community. I mean, I never know. I didn't know until I sat here that people can just come at random. And we've had several organizations come to the town council throughout this last year in and of itself, asking for different sums of money. And you know what? It's okay. We need to support those, and it was good to support those non-for-profits in our community. But what is our cap? I mean, we don't have all kinds of funds. Do people want to pay more taxes? Because the number one thing that I get the biggest complaints about in this town is the taxes and our increase in taxes. Even though we didn't increase taxes, because the assessment went up this year. A lot of the taxes on a lot of people's houses went up as well. So what is the cap? Do we have $200,000 that we can give out to community? Can you come anytime to the council chambers and ask for those dollars? I'm just feeling that we need some kind of criteria around that. What does it look like? Do we have $50,000 a year that we are willing to give out to community, whoever those non-for-profits are, and give them that money in a certain time frame or at any point in time for that matter? But or is it just wide open like it has been for the last several years? I'm actually kind of surprised. I've never seen anything like this actually, where I don't know, we've never even talked do we have an extra $5,000 to support this organization? Do we have an extra $10,000? Where is it coming from? Where is the extra dollars coming from? Just
I don't know if you're
Sounds awesome.
I don't know if you're looking for feedback, but I don't know how you put criteria around every single ask. Like this isn't money out of a pocket. This is rent reduction. And when I look at the rodeo, out of this 3-day event, I'm volunteering as part of what group am I volunteering for? The grad committee. So I'm standing there slinging beers. They write a check to the grad class for $500. They do at least that for minor hockey, I believe, doing security for the event, another $500. So we reduce rent, they generate revenue, hand it to 2 groups.
More than
And that's only the 2 that I know of.
And
There's several more. But how do you put criteria around that?
There has been community organizations that have come, and it's not a reduction in rent. It's not a gift. I'm okay with all of that. I'm okay with all of it. I'm just wondering what the level is. How much do we give out? There has been organizations that have come and asked us for several thousands of dollars. It wasn't a reduction in rent. It wasn't even a connect. Some of the things weren't even closely connected to town facilities, and we gave money to them. But I'm just wondering, in my mind, I'm just wondering if there is other organizations that you can go to and get funds for. They have a criteria and they have a cap. This year you get, So we have how many thousands of dollars in our budget every year that we can just give out to non-for-profits. And if that is in fact the case, why is that not made public? that our people can know that we have this much money that, you know what, is up for grabs, and whoever, whoever wants it can come and get it.
We're just
Yeah.
advertising for the community services board that's happening. I'm trying to bite the tongue.
Okay.
They have the criteria in place, and maybe you want to talk about that.
Oh,
The criteria is fully in place, and those people should be directed to apply.
and we talked earlier in the year, our cost recovery in our facilities is very low. So whatever we rent out and whatever we give to the public is already heavily discounted from what it would be for a private. So we're discounting already, then you're discounting it again, then you're discounting it again. So what you can do is you can make every facility in this town for free and just collect it in taxes.
Comfortable, I'll get you a couple for a second.
Well, and there have been people that have supported the rodeo for decades. When I first met my husband, over 30-some years ago, he was volunteering with the rodeo club. Over the years, he's used his forklift, he's used his equipment throughout, he's welded, he's done all this sort of thing at no cost, supporting the community. And he's just tired. And I think that is a lot of it, is that the volunteers are burnt out. They've done it for, like I said, over 30 years, and not for accolades or anything, but it's just expected after a period of time, and they can't do it anymore. They're busy. They cannot take a week off during a busy time frame to do all the volunteer stuff anymore. So unless other people are going to step up and, offer their services as well, there's been no, and he's never looked for any accolades or anything else. There's been nothing to acknowledge the people that have donated their time and effort and blood, sweat, and tears for decades, for a lot of the events that go around our community. So, yeah, that's all.
It's off the barrel.
Okay, we had a community service board meeting last night, and
Are we continuing this discussion?
This is part of it, just let her talk to us.
we got a proposal to bring up for our October meeting. We're looking for a maximum budget that was at 3,000 to go to 10,000. And we're going to do a spring and fall applications, $5,000 each. And if we don't see the criteria, say in spring, we don't use it all, we'll carry it over till fall, because not everybody has dates that'll work. And so what we're doing is look at sending this to town council to raise it from 3,000 to 10,000, and we do application in spring of, say, March 31st, in the fall, we'll use September 30th as deadlines. And then everybody, it's the same format, you bring in all your criteria of what's
Financial reference.
yeah. And yeah, we're looking at grants for financial information, account balances, fundraising activities, user fees, number of participants. But one thing we added is if you sent the same format out to everybody else, then that's part of where if you get part of the grant, you're not going to get a full grant. Because if you sent money letters out, because the whole thing is a lot of the stuff that we see is spread around town. But the whole thing is, if you acknowledge it, we'll still look at it and still help. But we're not going to say you get $5,000, because if you said 10 letters out asking for $5,000, we got to make it fair for everybody. So that's part of the criteria. And but we're looking at 10,000 instead of 3,000.
So by doing that, what we would do from a council standpoint, my understanding would hopefully be to deflect them to the community services board and take it off of our table.
Not happening, no matter how many times you say it, it's not gonna happen. Seriously, fee 21 years ago, and it was 3,000 then, so
Yeah.
it horrifies me that it's still at the same level it was 21 years ago. And we used to get all the groups coming
Yeah.
to us because we had some money.
Yeah.
But it became, inflation outpaced us for that grant, it's became obsolete
When you have
because
two
it,
or three people
Yeah.
winning, they're getting $500.
you know, here's your 200, your 200, you know.
This
Where's
is,
the toilet paper?
So I think that's why you're maybe seeing the increase coming to council, so maybe it would be a good way of deflecting.
yeah, I think, because we had some last year,
Yeah,
yeah, they could have,
And a lot of us don't apply for it because we just know how little money you have. I've
Yeah.
not applied once as a Hanna
Yeah.
Firefighters Association in 21 years because I know how little money there is, and there's groups that are harder off than we are.
Yeah.
And I don't want to take the money away from them.
And your toys are expensive, to be honest.
Yeah.
that's why we looked at 10,000, you know, it's
Much better.
a little better, but still, you know, it's a lot of money to spread amongst. Well, it's a lot of times, I've been sitting on this and we've looked at 8 to 10, you know, that
And they're all valid.
we're all done, that you gotta look at.
Okay, I have Council Warwick and then Council Olson.
Well, I just wanted to say, I'm not, like, I know everybody's bringing up the rodeo and all that. I am not pointing fingers at any particular entity. This has been something I've thought about for a very long time. I had this conversation one other time. So I'm just in generalities. I'm just wondering, I'm thank you for that information because that's how I kind of see it is, you know what, you have a cap and you have some, you know, parameters. And I'm not saying that I know the outreach that a lot of these non-for-profits do. They take money in on all kinds of levels and they generously give it out. And I'm thankful for those too. That is not what I'm getting at all. I'm getting about how do we define the dollars that I am fiscally and fiduciarily responsible for sitting at this table. That's what I wanted to know. So thank you for the community services. I think that's a great way, and I think it'd be great to direct people that in that direction to get some of those funds that they may need as well.
Council Olson.
The gap I see when I go through the list in the back of my head of all the people that have come and asked. Not a single one's given 6 months notice when they want their money. I mean, the two today, that's on them, I know, but there's gonna be a big gap there. I mean, I'd love to see this CSP thing when we talked how many years ago, was it at $3,000?
Oh, they're ready for the
21 years since I resigned off the
So I
board.
mean, I'd
and
love to see it.
I think that's what it was
But I would
then,
love to see
maybe 2.
every 6-week meetings, to be realistic. If we're gonna say no to everybody go to CSB, like, is ideal, it's gonna accomplish what Council Warwick would love to see, what we'd all like to see. But you're gonna need meetings every 6 weeks, gonna be a little harder for the board, but I think to be realistic, that has to be what it needs to be.
Even quarterly, if people know there's a grant deadline
Yeah, it may be a full year of it going on.
and they
then.
see, oh, here's the 4 for the next
Well, that's
coming
what
year, and
we're
it's
looking at.
always that.
After 2 different sessions, so I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, I think quarterly as a minimum.
it'll have CSPs.
Yeah. Yeah. I know every member loves more meetings, so I think I really appreciate.
Okay.
Oh,
So
it's not
we've
that
got,
bad.
Can I just make a?
go ahead, Council Warden.
I think too that there's other grants out there, like Prairie Crocus is within the special areas area. Hanna and that sort of thing, that might be something to direct people towards as well. That is a little bit longer time frame, but being aware, I think a lot of times that helps
You
too.
made it easy for the groups to come and ask on the same day they get a
I would love
motion.
that
Yeah.
reputation thing.
Yeah,
And they don't have to.
Things-
you don't have to go through the application and stuff, yeah.
Council Olson, anything got in your report?
I did submit mine on time, Mr. Mayor, so it's there for everybody's
Why, after you had anything to add to?
reading. No, I will
Nothing?
accept any questions or accolades with praise.
Praise.
I believe it's not important. Council Murphy?
It's pretty true.
Now it's a crazy summer, very busy, Media Foundation, the library board, legal stuff we're still dealing with. Oh boy, and did Marigold, as you see, there's a beautiful report on how much money they save us. And more library board stuff, so it's been a very busy summer, and we're back to the fall, but hopefully, well, we'll see, a month to go or 4 years to go for bits. Let's see how it goes.
Counselor Farrell, anything to add to yours? You kind of covered off a little bit of it.
Yeah, and this Friday is the pet meeting in Brooks, so I'm going to go down to it. And it's for a couple hours. And the one that was in Medicine Hat was on groups that were looking to start working with Japan, if we could get your stuff marketed, and there's two groups in our PEP zone, one out of Orion and one out of southern Alberta, because they're already got everything outlined, and that's what you gotta have, they said, or don't even look at trying to send anything over.
Virgin Mission Tree.
Yeah. Yeah.
My summer's been fairly straightforward, dealing with just the regular duties as far as, we've had conversations about, roads and back alleys and timing and it was interesting, they're putting final coats of pavement on today. And I probably had 6 people complain about the time frame of Pioneer Trail. We had to drive around the whole town twice today. I don't know, it's interesting people's perception of time and need and necessity. That's the biggest challenge I've found is, to me, putting the culvert in or the bridge in on Pioneer Trail should be a relatively simple process. Bring a hole in, dam it off on both sides, pump the water out, put a culvert in and fill it and done. Well, unfortunately, as we all know, things don't happen that quickly, and trying to explain it to people that barn swallows are more important than a bridge, it's really hard to do. And it is, I've seen it over the years now, even when Ballard come through here with the power line, they actually had people going out and doing bird sweeps before they could move to the next site. So this isn't anything new. It's just we're kind of caught in it right now. And with the back alleys, I've got a gentleman up in Winkler that phones me daily complaining about his back alley, and I've driven down his back alley, and as Councilor Cole indicated, there's some alleys that could use some work, and then we'll get that through back to Matthew. Matthew will pass it off to Brant. So the biggest thing is time, and that's unfortunately the challenges that we deal with as council is time. And nothing happens quickly. And I guess that would be the most frustrating part of being in the role we're in. To us, it's a very simple process, but in reality, it's a process and it's time consuming. So that's all I've got. Thank you very much for that, and we'll get a motion to accept council reports for information. Councilor vote, all in favor? Carried. Correspondence. Anything jump off the page? 12.1, the municipal affairs. Nancy, did you have anything to add to that one?
No, that's just our
Blanket letter.
yeah, just our allocation. The other items are regarding the not charging property taxes on nonprofits. The long one.
You made a motion for us to provide letters of support as requested here. You can provide those from us.
Yeah, for the
The senior center,
yeah, we can do that. And then just give thanks for the field.
So 12.004, the seniors are looking for a community enhancement grant. I have no problem writing a letter of support for that project. The pool, again, bang up job from the pool staff. Never heard actually any hiccups or anything negative about the pool for the first time in a long time. As far as hours or services or anything, which is Congratulations to that group. I mean, did a bang up job, so. I think we can, well. We can acknowledge those people. As 12.07, the grand opening, I would strongly urge that if you can attend, it will be a memorable evening.
I think there's only 2 tables and some odd tickets left, and yeah, the committee that's been working on it has been doing a wonderful job.
So if we can get a motion to accept correspondence for information. Counselor Thurl, all in favor? Carried. And last but not least, we have a closed session. Mr. Sharp, you'll have to leave. Martha, you'll have to leave.
Martha, I hope you have your papers in. You only need 5 nominees. Be looking for that.
You're here every week. You may as well.
Take care. Thank you for coming. Yeah.
There was a slot available for public presentations and you won't care. Yeah, no, sorry, we no.
6 o'clock is when we start. 6 o'clock.
Shortly after 6, we have our,
Email that?
yep,
You can email.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed the.
Thank you for coming.
Excellent job. I really respect all the administrators that administer justice on this. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Good night.
And a motion to go into.
I'll be back in a second.
I will make the motion at 8:17. Or did you already?
No, I haven't yet. We're just making sure.
We're gonna go. I know it's gonna be a long time
Yeah.
to be there. I know should wait for the motion, but we
The
can,
motion's been.
Most of it made by council.
Yeah, it's made.
okay.
Everyone likes my motions unless they're chickens.
Let's do G.